Hey people, how y'all doing? It's the Bean here again, and I'm shooting you another video. And today's video is going to be about mind building. Uh, I think that we should pay more close attention to ourselves, and we should have a moment in our own time to make ourselves important instead of just everything else that we're doing. We as adults, as people, right? We should all understand that everything that seems to be in our vicinity is actually in view for us to consume in our thoughts, and our reactions is according to how certain things is demonstrated to us on what we end up doing in life. Okay, those are the things that I think now, as we progressed in age or matured, we need to kind of like separate from that, because our whole life was about that. So to kind of like build yourself on your own thoughts is when you give yourself that moment to kind of like don't think about something. Let something be brought to your attention on its own. That means something came up and the thought of it seems to have came to mind. And instead of you blocking it or ignoring it, you paid attention to it and you reacted to it. Sounds crazy, right? But it's not. You see, the majority part of your life is the response you give when something's being received through this, from this to this, okay? But when I say this and this, is that this is your mind for thought and your eyes to see, to react. So you're gonna do the reverse thing. The reverse thing is you're not gonna do this. You're just gonna do this, okay? What that means is that you're gonna let, instead of you ignoring things that come to mind, not from your your normal activities, it's just a thought that seemed to have came out of nowhere. Instead of ignoring it, try to take the time out to pay attention to it, because if you really look at it for what it is, and you kind of take that moment to pay attention to what came to your mind for that particular minute, you're gonna start to realize it's like it's not second guessing, but it's like an answer to you towards life itself. Crazy, right? But we gotta try to understand ourselves. You don't need a book. You don't need a scripture. You don't need a doctor. You don't need some type of schooling or someone to teach you. These are things that are functioning in your own body on a day-to-day basis, like every minute of your life. But how we were all brought up, we wasn't allowed to do these things. We wasn't allowed to actually react on our own thoughts, because we were brought up to just be taught about things. You have to understand that if you take time out to actually pay attention more to yourself, you're gonna realize that a lot of things you're doing is like, it's not really it's not the most important thing for you, or not the most important thing to do, because if you don't have the ability to do it, it can't be done. So by saying that, uh, you taking the time out to think out things that will be more concerning for yourself, you're going to see the two are different from each other. Because when you get up to go to work, is that really showing any concern to yourself? Or is that something that was taught to you that's supposed to bring you some concern because you're doing something and there's something being given to you because you're doing it? Does that really have anything that you could honestly say that's what life is about? Or that's the main priority for me to be doing? I can't answer that for you, but you got to take the time out, for that moment that you sit and kind of like relax yourself for that moment and empty out your mind, and it comes about to see it in that form. Because when you start to realize that some of the things you're doing is like a broken record, you like doing it. Your pattern of living is like a broken record. You're doing the same thing over and over again. Isn't that Groundhog's Day? Sounds like Groundhog's Day to me. It's a repeated thing that you do on a constant basis, and you're not even looking and seeing that as you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not even visualizing that. You're just doing it and not realizing that as you're doing it, it's not really constituting you to really live, like to like and really embrace your life. And we all get these thoughts in our mind from time to time, but the honest thing is that we were never taught to react on that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that you as a person, if you take the time out to do that for yourself, that's one of the mind builders of you separating yourself from your normalcy. You know what I'm saying? And when you separate yourself from your normalcy, your reality is going to tell you things that you are doing don't really coexist. It's all up here. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, we physically doing it, and we're going about our daily tasks and stuff like that. But up here, you have to kind of like, it's like looking at yourself from the outside in, and you seeing the things you're doing and actually questioning yourself, that is this normal? Like, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, this is really what life is supposed to be for me? Those are answers that you have to answer yourself. You don't need nobody to really tell you, like, I'm here and I'm bringing this up to you. Yeah, I'm speaking about it because I'm trying to get you to react on what I'm saying to you, to give you that moment for you to do it. You know what I'm saying? So you can see what it feels like. Because when you kind of like take the moment to like sit back and then allow your mind to speak to you in the sense of certain things come up unexpectedly, and you don't know what it is, but then you don't bypass it, you kind of pay attention to it, you're gonna realize, hey, what's going on here? Like, I wasn't really thinking about that, but something came up out of nowhere, and then you reacted to it, and it actually took you out of what you normally was doing for that moment. And you don't realize that is one of the ways of you strengthening yourself, where everything that you see or things that's being presented to you or being told to you, you're not gonna, you're gonna start not reacting to a lot of things, because you're gonna start to see that most of that is not realistic. And the seriousness is that I think that now, now is the time that we need to kind of like separate ourselves from things that might not be beneficial to us. We think that they are beneficial to us, but in reality, when you really sit back and look at the length of how you got where you are today and what you was doing previously before, you're going to take a notice that time is changing, but your method of living is not getting any better, it's getting worse. And then the effects of it, you can see like how you going about your daily tasks, and your daily living, and you know, everybody gonna take that time out to say, wow, life just went right past me, and like, yo, what was my accomplishments? What have I done so far? Like, what are the things that I've been doing that I can actually say, you know, is this really living? Like I'm really living. And you're gonna find out that majority of the time you've been participating in the things that make you a person today is not actually you. That's just things that they taught you to do. So what I'm trying to say to you is that you have to find a way, right, to separate yourself for what you normally do, and then focus on yourself about things strictly on you. Sounds a little off, or it don't sound normal. It's not supposed to be normal, because this is a function that you probably have never done it in your lifetime. And I think that we all need to do that, because then when we start to do it, you don't realize that simple thing that I'm asking you to do is actually going to strengthen your mind about things that you need to know for yourself. And that means nothing was said to you. It only came from you. It's like, I believe that when you learn to strengthening your mind on your own thoughts or your own way of thinking, you're going to start to realize that a lot of things that's being said or you might see, it's like it's taking you away from you paying attention to yourself. And as you let the sight of something cause you to be interested, you actually leaving yourself away from the reality of you dealing with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because everything can be established and shown to you as a distraction from you actually having the thought of thinking about yourself. Yes. You see, I know you're going to say that I'm going on and on and on, and I'm kind of saying either the same thing or something similar to the same about the same answer to of, it's like a question and an answer at the same time. But the reason why I'm constantly coming back to the same thing is because I'm trying to remind you that you need to pay attention to you. It's crazy, but it's not crazy. It's the simplest thing to do. And I'm going to ask you and shorten this video by telling you the mind builder that you have to do for you is only about you. And how do you do it? Is when you only react to the thoughts that come to your mind. That means things that come from you, you react to. Not something that was presented to you or visually seen or taught to you. These are thoughts, and it's happening to you even as I'm speaking. It's occurring. Don't block it. Don't turn around and not pay attention to it. Just take that moment and pay attention to it and watch what it do for you. This video was just about mind building, and mind building means the reaction of one's thoughts when come to mind. Yes, the reaction of one's thoughts that come to mind. That means you're not reacting on what you've seen. You're not reacting on what you read. You're not reacting on the job that pays you, you know what I'm saying, from you participating in all of these groups that they actually told us that we have to be a part of in life. No, this is coming from the thought that's coming in mind to you. The thought that's coming into your mind That means the thoughts that you're thinking, that you seem to be not paying attention to, that you're taking the time out to say, okay, let me see where this is going to take me. And the funniest thing is, you're not going to realize when you react to it, now you're not doing nothing. Now you're not doing something that's normal. You're doing something that is coming from you, that's going to give you a different outlook on how you're supposed to see things. And watch where it takes you. So I'm going to leave you on that thought right now. Okay? This is called Mind Builder. Okay? People, I know it's late. Thank you for watching my video. I will be tuning in again to give you another video on how you need to function on your own thoughts. Take it easy, people, and have a nice night.